Welcome back to channel, Top Coin. Today, we dive deep into the fascinating story of the 1967 United States 1-cent coin, the humble penny that could be your unexpected treasure. Is it rare? Why are collectors going crazy over it? And how much is it actually worth today? Stick with us to find out, because this tiny coin has a story much bigger than its size. Let's start by going back in time. The year is 1967. The United States is in the midst of change. The Vietnam War is escalating. The counterculture movement is in full swing. Gas is only 33 cents a gallon, and the Beatles are dominating the charts. But in the world of American coinage, something unusual is happening too. You see, during the mid-60s, the U.S. Mint faced a coin shortage, largely due to rising silver prices and massive hoarding of coins by the public. In response, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from dimes and quarters. The Treasury also decided to suspend mint marks, those tiny letters that tell you where a coin was made, to prevent people from hoarding coins from specific mints. So, from 1965 through 1967, all coins, including the 1-cent coin, were struck without mint marks. That means a 1967 penny won't have a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. Just the year, 1967. But don't let that fool you into thinking it's common and boring. Because some of these 1967 pennies are hiding secrets. Let's look at the physical features first. The 1967 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which began in 1959 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 150th birthday. It features the familiar portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the reverse side showing the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The coin was struck primarily in bronze, composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, meaning if you're lucky to have an uncirculated or proof coin from this year, it has some real metal value just from the copper alone. But here's the twist. While over 3 billion 1967 1-cent coins were produced, not all of them are created equal. There are rare varieties, striking errors, and exceptionally preserved examples that can fetch big money. Let's talk about what makes some 1967 pennies so valuable. First, error coins. These are coins that were struck incorrectly at the mint. And collectors love these. They're rare, they're unique, and some are worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. There are double die-averse (DDO) errors, where the coin's features, especially on the lettering like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," appear doubled. This can be subtle or dramatic, but either way, if you spot one, you're holding on to something special. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin isn't aligned properly during the strike and a part of the design is missing. A 1967 penny with a significant off-center strike can sell for over $250 or more, depending on how dramatic the error is. Let's not forget clipped planchet errors, where a piece of the coin is literally missing due to an error in the blank cutting process. These are fascinating to collectors and also can fetch over $100 or more in the right condition. And yes, even die cracks, cuds, and repunched dates from 1967 have been found and sold for premium prices at auctions and collector shows. But it's not just about the errors. Even a normal 1967 penny, if it's in exceptional condition, can be very valuable. If you've got a coin that's never been circulated, has a deep red luster, and grades MS65 or higher, you're talking about a penny that could sell for $50 to $200 or more. Why? Because finding a 1967 penny in that perfect of a condition is rare. These coins were mass-produced, heavily used, and often beaten up in pockets, jars, and cash registers for decades. In fact, a graded MS67 red 1967 penny, slabbed and authenticated by PCGS or NGC, can go for $500 or higher at auction, especially if the coin is flawless. Coin collectors, or numismatists, are always on the lookout for high-quality coins from high mintage years like 1967. Why? Because it's challenging to find pristine examples. Many people underestimate the value of coins from the 60s because they seem common. But that's what makes the perfect ones so rare. In 2019, a brilliant red 1967 Lincoln cent in mint state sold for $780 at auction. Not because of an error, not because it was gold-plated or altered, but simply because of its incredible condition and color. Another rare 1967 penny with a dramatic double die error sold for over $1,000. That's a $1,000 penny, sitting right there in someone's pocket change. It's real. And it happens more often than you think. So what should you do? Here's your checklist. First, go through your old coins. Look for 1967 pennies. Check for doubling, off-center strikes, clipped edges, and especially bright red coins with no wear. Second, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. You'll be amazed at what you see up close. Third, if you think you've found something valuable, get it graded by a trusted third party like PCGS or NGC. This will certify your coin's value and open the door to serious buyers. And finally, if you don't find a rare one, don't worry. Collecting coins is about history, beauty, and the thrill of the hunt. Even the average 1967 penny has a story. It's lived through the decades and been a silent witness to American history. A simple 1-cent coin. Minted in a time of great change. Traded, forgotten, rediscovered. It may be worth only a penny. Or it may be worth a fortune. But it's always worth your attention. This is the story of the 1967 United States 1-cent coin. A tiny piece of copper, with a legacy that shines brighter than gold. Like what you've seen? Smash that like button, subscribe for more hidden treasures, and leave a comment below. Do you have a 1967 penny? What's the rarest coin in your collection? Well, in today's deep dive, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in American history, the 1982 1-cent coin. This tiny copper-colored coin may look ordinary, but believe me, it's hiding some big secrets. And if you've got the right one, you might just be sitting on a goldmine. So grab your magnifying glass and stay tuned. Because you won't believe how much some of these 1982 pennies are worth today. Let's go back in time to the early 1980s. The United States was dealing with a spike in copper prices. In fact, by 1981, it was costing the US Mint more than a penny to make a penny. That's right. Each 1-cent coin was more expensive to produce than its actual face value. Something had to change, and in 1982, it finally did. Before 1982, pennies were made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc. But with rising metal prices, the US Mint decided to switch things up. They began producing pennies made of 97.5% zinc and only coated with a thin layer of copper. This drastic change reduced the cost of production, but it also led to something incredibly unique. Multiple variations of the same coin in a single year. 1982 became one of the most complicated years in U.S. penny production history. Not only were there 2 different metal compositions, copper and zinc, but there were also 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. That's right. 7. And some of them are incredibly rare, extremely valuable, and highly sought after by collectors all over the world. Here's where things get really interesting. The 7 types of 1982 pennies are divided by metal composition, mint mark, and font size. Let me break it down for you. 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, 1982D large date copper, 1982D large date zinc, 1982D small date zinc. Each of these has slight differences in appearance. The terms large date and small date refer to the size and shape of the numbers in the date. Especially the number 2. The copper coins weigh around 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones are much lighter at about 2.5 grams. Now here's the kicker. While most 1982D pennies were zinc, a 1982D small date copper penny is one of the holy grails of penny collecting. This coin was not supposed to exist. But somehow, a few slipped through, and today, they're worth a fortune. In 2016, a verified 1982D small date copper penny sold for $18,800 at auction. Yes, nearly $19,000 for a single penny. Why so valuable? because it wasn't officially authorized. It's a mint error, a fluke, a ghost that somehow became real. Only a few examples have ever been found, and because it's so difficult to spot with the naked eye, many more might still be hiding in old jars, desk drawers, or coffee cans full of change. Collectors pay top dollar for this coin, not just because it's rare, but because it represents a mistake, a deviation from what the mint intended. And in the world of numismatics, mint errors often mean big bucks. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, you're looking at a serious payday. Even regular 1982 copper pennies, if in mint condition or uncirculated, can fetch between $1 and $10. That's still 100 to 1,000 times its face value. So how can you tell if you have a rare one? First, weigh the coin. Use a digital gram scale. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc ones are about 2.5 grams. Next, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the date. Compare it to known images of large date versus small date. Varieties. Pay special attention to the shape of the numbers, especially the number 2. On the small date version, the number 2 has a sharp curve and the bottom of the 8 sits higher than the 1 and the 2. Also, check for a mint mark under the date. If you see a D, it means it was minted in Denver. A Philadelphia minted coin has no mint mark at all. So, if you find a 1982 D penny that weighs 3.11 grams and has a small date, stop everything. You could be holding a very rare and extremely valuable coin. The value of rare coins like these has gone up significantly in recent years. The coin collecting market is booming, with more people than ever searching through their change and investing in collectible coins. Online marketplaces like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and PCGS auctions show consistent demand for 1982 pennies in excellent condition. A common 1982 penny in uncirculated condition can sell for $2 to $15, depending on the variety. But as we've said, the 1982 D small date copper? That's in a league of its own. Graded coins by certified organizations like PCGS or NGC add extra value. A 1982 D small date copper graded MS65 or higher could bring $10,000 to $20,000 or more, depending on the market. If you think you've found a valuable 1982 penny, don't clean it, ever. Cleaning a coin actually decreases its value. Instead, keep it safe in a protective sleeve or coin flip and get it weighed and authenticated. You can submit coins to grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Once graded, your coin's value becomes official, and you'll be in a position to sell it through high-end coin dealers or auction houses. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't walk past it, pick it up, check the date, weigh it, look closely. Because if it's a 1982 and the details match just right, you might be holding something far more valuable than 1 cent. In the world of coins, tiny details can mean the difference between pocket change and a collector's jackpot. Ask your parents or grandparents if they have any old pennies tucked away. You never know. You might just uncover one of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, give it a like, drop a comment below. If you think you have a rare penny, and don't forget to subscribe for more treasure hunting, coin collecting, and money-making stories. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating little coin that has captured the attention of collectors, treasure hunters, and coin enthusiasts around the world. We're talking about none other than the 1994 1-cent coin. Yes, that familiar penny minted in the United States of America. But did you know some of these humble-looking coins are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars today? You might be wondering, how can a 1-cent coin be worth so much? Well, hold on tight, because this is going to be a journey through history, rarity, errors, and value trends that might just make you dig through your old coin jar tonight. Let's unlock the secrets of the 1994 Lincoln cent and reveal what makes certain versions of this coin so incredibly valuable. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, has been in circulation for well over a century. It's the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. By 1994, the reverse of the penny still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. The 1994 penny was struck by three major mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. That year, billions of pennies were minted, making the coin common in general. But, and this is a big but, not all pennies are created equal. Some of them were struck with errors, some were misaligned, and some had rare variations that have made them incredibly valuable to collectors today. Now, let's get into the really exciting stuff. What makes the 1994 penny worth more than just 1 cent? The answer lies in the rare varieties, mint errors, and collector demand. Let's talk about some of the most sought-after versions of the 1994 penny. This is a big one. Some 1994 pennies exhibit what's called a double die obverse, which means during the minting process, the die that struck the coin had a doubling error. You can usually see doubling on the date, the word liberty, and I in God we trust. These are highly collectible, especially in uncirculated condition. While this is more commonly associated with other years like 1992 or 1999, there are reports of wide AM varieties being found in 1994 pennies. What does that mean? On normal 1994 pennies, the letters A and M in America on the reverse should be almost touching. If there's a visible gap, that is, if the A and M are spaced apart, you might have a rare die variety on your hands. These are extremely hard to find, but if you spot one, you're looking at a big payday. Error coins are some of the most exciting for collectors. A 1994 penny that struck off-center, meaning it looks like part of the design is missing, can be worth significantly more. Similarly, a coin with a die crack, cud, or lamination error can fetch a nice premium, especially when combined with other interesting features. Most coins from 1994 were struck for general circulation and show signs of wear. But if you happen to have a mint state coin, that means it's never been used and is in pristine condition, especially one graded MS67 or higher by a third-party service like PCGS or NGC, its value can soar. Some of these coins have sold for over $1,000 at auction. Yes, a penny that has never been spent can be worth 1,000 times its face value. Now let's talk money. What are collectors actually paying for these 1994 pennies right now in the market? As of the most recent data, a regular circulated 1994 penny is still worth about 1 cent. But a 1994 DDO Lincoln cent in mint condition can sell for $50 to $250, depending on grade and visibility of doubling. A high-grade MS67 red 1994 Lincoln penny, especially those graded by PCGS or NGC, can fetch $500 to $1,500 or more at auction. Rare error coins, such as major off-center strikes or coins with die caps, have been known to sell for $100 to $300 or even more based on the severity and uniqueness of the error. It's important to remember that the coin market is always moving. Coins that were undervalued 10 years ago might be worth a fortune today. Rarity, demand, and condition are the three most important factors that drive value. If a collector needs a specific variety to complete their set, and it's hard to find, the price goes up. Simple as that. Now that you know what to look for, here's how to check if you've got a treasure hiding in plain sight. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date and lettering. Doubling, odd spacing, or anything that looks off could be a sign of value. Use a scale. A standard 1994 penny should weigh around 2.5 grams if it's made of zinc. If your coin is heavier, it could be an off-metal error, possibly struck on a copper planchet. That would be huge. Check the mint mark. Look just below the date on the obverse. Is there a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark at all, Philadelphia? Certain errors are more common with certain mints. Compare with known examples. Sites like PCGS, NGC, and Heritage Auctions often have photos and prices of certified coins for comparison. Consider getting it graded. If you think your coin is special, send it to a professional grading company. Having a certified grade can increase value significantly and make it easier to sell. So there you have it. That little 1994 penny you've been overlooking could be worth more than $100, maybe even over $1,000, if it's one of the rare varieties or errors. Even if it's not, checking your pocket change is a fun and potentially profitable hobby. The thrill of the hunt, the mystery of history, and the possibility of finding treasure right under your nose is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Don't throw away your old pennies just yet. Take a second look. Flip them over. Grab a magnifier. You never know what you might find. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1994 Lincoln penny, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video on valuable coins, hidden collectibles, and numismatic secrets. Leave a comment below if you found any rare pennies or if you're going to check your change right after watching this. Who knows, your next big find might be 1 cent away. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of American coinage to uncover the hidden secrets and shocking value behind a coin that many people just overlook every day: the 2003 1-cent coin from the United States of America. That's right, the humble Lincoln penny minted in 2003 may be sitting right now in your pocket, your jar of spare change, or lost in the cushions of your couch, and it could be worth a small fortune. Yes, you heard that right. Some versions of the 2003 penny are selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars in the coin collector's market. You might just be holding on to a rare gem and not even know it. So sit back, grab your magnifying glass, and let's uncover the incredible story behind this tiny copper-colored treasure. Let's start with the basics. The 1-cent coin minted in 2003 is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced way back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, that's the front side, features the familiar portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has stood the test of time and remains iconic in American numismatics. In 2003, the Lincoln penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the coins with no mint mark, the Denver Mint marked theirs with a D, and the San Francisco Mint created proof coins with an S mark. Altogether, billions of pennies were minted in 2003, which might make you think they're all common and worthless, but not so fast. Some of these coins are anything but ordinary. Now, what makes the 2003 penny special? First, you need to understand that by 2003, the U.S. Mint was still producing pennies primarily from a composition of copper-plated zinc. Each coin weighs 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. But here's where things get interesting. Not all of them are created equal. Over time, collectors have discovered several varieties and errors among the 2003 pennies that make them highly desirable. Some of the most valuable include double die obverse, DDO. This rare error shows visible doubling of Lincoln's features or the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." If you spot this on a 2003 penny, don't spend it. It could be worth serious money. Off-center strikes. Some 2003 pennies were struck off-center, making the design look misaligned or even partially missing. These errors are highly collectible, especially if the date is still clearly visible. Clipped planchets. This error occurs when the coin blank is improperly cut, leaving a noticeable curved clip on the edge of the coin. BI error. This is a small die break that appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, making it look like it says BIE. This quirky error is beloved among Lincoln cent collectors. Now, let's talk numbers. How much can a 2003 penny really be worth? Regular circulated 2003 pennies are usually worth face value, just 1 cent, unless they're in pristine condition. Uncirculated 2003 pennies, those with no wear and full mint luster, can be worth between 10 cents and a few dollars, depending on their condition and mint mark. But when it comes to the rare and valuable errors, that's where the price skyrockets. A 2003 penny with a double die obverse can sell for $50 to over $500, depending on the clarity of the doubling. An off-center strike with more than 50% off and a visible date can be worth $100 to $250 or more. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint with no imperfections can sell for $2 to $20, but if they show any special errors, their value goes even higher. The rarest versions of these coins, in top-grade conditions with strong demand among collectors, have fetched as much as $1,000 at auction. Imagine finding one of these in a roll of pennies from the bank or in your childhood coin collection. So now the big question: how can you tell if your 2003 penny is valuable? Start by checking the mint mark under the year. Is it a D, an S, or none at all? Next, look closely with a magnifying glass or coin loupe for any doubling, especially on the lettering or Lincoln's features. Check the edges. Are they clipped, curved, or jagged in an unusual way? That could be a mint error. Use a precise scale. If your penny weighs more than 2.5 grams, it could be a transitional error or struck on a different planchet. Finally, compare your coin with certified examples from auction houses or coin grading services like PCGS and NGC to estimate its value. And remember, condition matters. Coins graded MS65 and above, mint state, fetch far higher prices than circulated ones. As of June 2025, the market for collectible Lincoln cents is still going strong. Collectors are paying top dollar for high-grade examples and rare error varieties of the 2003 penny. Online auctions have recently seen a 2003 D penny with clear double die obverse graded MS66 sell $4.750, a 2003 S-proof penny with deep cameo finish and perfect PR70 condition go $4.180, an off-center 2003 Lincoln cent with over 60% off-center strike sell $4.260 if you're looking to sell or buy one. Check platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections, and always look for certified coins to ensure authenticity. So there you have it, the 2003 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that could be a hidden gem worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now it's your turn. Go check your piggy banks, your drawers, your spare change jars. Who knows what you might find? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more amazing content, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a future upload. Let us know in the comments if you found any rare coins recently, or if you want us to cover a specific year or coin next. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Until next time, happy collecting and keep your eyes on your change.